actually flexing across to that one as well, have been instrumental in their roles. I mean, YJP featuring over 50% average energy on Xayah. Now, not easy to do sometimes when, you know, you can't always dictate when damages are going to be coming towards their shields, but important stuff there. Thailand, let's hope they got a little bit more in their bag of tricks.
Yeah, I think the greatest part of this Overwatch World Cup is the fact we are seeing a lot of different parts of the world that we ordinarily wouldn't see represented in Overwatch tournaments. So yeah, it's very much eye-opening, I think. Obviously, we just saw Chinese Taipei really putting pressure on Finland. We're going to see whether Thailand can maybe pressure China. China we've seen a lot of, obviously, recently. But there's a lot of nations out there that are somewhat surprising. Obviously, this is day one. We are yet to see them all played out so far, but it is looking pretty good. Of course, we're moving on to Hanamura now. We've seen this map a number of times tonight. It is a very tricky map to complete. I think that's fair to say. There's a number of stumbling blocks. However, it's one of those maps that you either finish very quickly and flip it straight in a double, take both A and B site almost simultaneously because you get that ult advantage, or you really, really struggle and just catch yourself on a stumbling block. Yeah,
the reality is that, I mean, the difficulty in holding a point, especially on a map like this one, really depends on how close the defenders spawn to it. Now, this first point, Thailand will spawn actually quite a long way away from it, back in the initial temple. So that's a long walk to get back to the point. And China, I guess conversely, they don't have nearly as far to walk. So if you trade 1 for 1, if one Chinese player kills a Thailand player and vice versa, the Chinese have an advantage there, even if they trade 1 for 1, because they're closer. The last point, though, that's when it gets tough. Thailand spawn right next to it.
Well, we do have the Mei for NZNR, but I'm more looking towards the Widowmaker of YJP as he goes aggressive. Now, Zalfix also went with that Symmetra, so standard play, and you already see Zalfix getting a good little look at what's going on. Now, anyone that's played this game, anyone that's played this map will be well aware of Symmetras on this map. This is almost the standard where sort of she thrives effectively.
I love how versatile China are. Lincoln's a Lucio player, but Pungay's playing Lucio now, so Lincoln can play the Genji. Now, I mean, so far, not so great, but even Jamalee's moving over towards Xayah. These guys are taking completely different roles than they did in the last map.
Well, we see the Widowmaker. I don't know whether it's going to be effective or not. We'll keep the jury out there. He managed to get the one shot and kill onto Zalfix, but as you saw, the problem is, this is one of the maps where you kind of need to go as a team, go as a unit, all move in. And that's kind of obviously splinters it straight away. And we saw the Circan, they came in, they managed to catch out. There's somebody on the point at the moment. It's being contested. We're not seeing it exactly who it is. You can see Jamalee's managed to pick himself up a kill. I can't see who's on there. They've almost got themselves a second marker. Looks like it's finally going to get cleared off. And China not having the greatest success here in the initial attack.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about Thailand's defensive composition as well. This is very defensive. Okay, normally you will see a Mei in the mix here, but now adding that Symmetra as well for Zalfix is a big deal. I mean, it can be quite hard to deal with, of course, when, you know, that Symmetra now is going to circumvent the fact that it takes so long for defenders to walk back to this point. So if you take that out of the mix now, Thailand do have a lot of the odds in their favor. You can see where the teleporter is. Lincoln's just spotted it out. It's going to be his job to get rid of that teleporter, but you see that the McCree play here, Opito defending it. He's defending this teleporter, and he takes down Lincoln as he tries to pick it up.
That worked perfectly, and that whole distraction, they were putting no resources to chasing him down. They were just simply keeping the resources. They knew where he's going. There was no reason to chase him because they knew he was heading towards that teleporter, and it seemed to work out well for them. So Thailand now got themselves, what, 4 ultis built up. You can technically 5 because obviously Zalfix Symmetra's teleport is already on the ground. Whereas China seem to be struggling to stack up here. You know, we talk about Chinese aggression. There's no sign of it right now. They've got 2 minutes to go, less than, to get in here and take it down. But the Dragon Blade's ready, and there's the grabs on Search.
Yeah, Opito there with a Deadeye. Gets himself a quick double kill there, and now the Blizzard is in effect. China going to struggle to even get through it, let alone survive when it does start hit. Very, very cold for them now, and Thailand hold yet again. Note that YJP switched off the Widowmaker here for a Reaper. It's a bit more stand and deliver. It's a bit more a matter of, okay, we need to start fighting these guys properly. But China's sort of cycling through ults, and look at this. Zalfix still has that teleporter available. If we ever see his first person, look at the number just where his ultimate bar is, and that'll tell you how many charges is remaining. Probably quite a lot by this point.
I don't think it's been used. I
4 charges remaining.
Yeah, so there's not really been too many deaths on the side of Thailand at the moment. They seem to keep walking through. There's the wall coming once again perfectly. The Dragon Blade goes out, but he just gets frozen in time. Now the sound barrier is going to keep him alive, but it just did enough to slow him down. He's getting absolutely nothing for that ultimate. The rest of his team are starting to pick up kills, but it's not for naught because look at the kill score feed. It is all going blue, and Thailand holds strong. There is just 45 seconds remaining for China to even cap out point A.
Yeah, not a long time at all. China used all their ultimates not to take the first point lead, but to kill the teleporter. It can't even defend itself. That's how well Thailand have set up now. So obviously they lose that one. It's a big win for them, though, that China have invested so much into dealing with the TP. Because guess what? Thailand's still on this point. There's only 25 seconds remaining, and China have one good push left.
BO3's going to sit with a Deadeye, isn't he? They're going to get separated. That's going to be the Genji that comes on through. Oh no, Winston's caught out in midair. He will manage to take it away. He won't get away from that one. Kurlos takes him down. And, well, China's just attack is falling so short right now. The Reaper Copter finally comes in, though, and YJP turns it around. No nano boost required, and that may well have just been enough. He gets himself the Symmetra, and I think in overtime, it looks like Meng Mao is going to help out. They've had to cap it out, but by God, that was close. They will cap it. There's nothing China can do about it. Now they're going to be careful they don't get flipped.
Okay, Meng Mao literally just put China on his back and jumped into the fog with that one. And to be fair, the 3 kills he got were just exactly the ones he needed, right? He got rid of the McCree, he got rid of an Anna. I think even a Lucio was in the mix there as well. Perfect from him. You can't rely on that, though, Lee. You cannot rely on a Reaper to get a good ult and good positioning. But YJP, against the odds, gets it done. We need not question it any further now. Let's just move ahead. China have 3 minutes and 40 seconds to take this second point. Otherwise, Thailand will know exactly what their mark is to reach.
Well, finally, Zalfix switches to Lucio, at least. There's no more Symmetra, because now is not the time. But they're going to Lincoln once again with the Dragon Blade out. Not going to find himself anything here. Gets hooked in and taken down. That is how you deal with the Dragon Blade. It's not going to work out for them. And, well, China's attack, and this is really the big one. This is where you get the double flip quickly. Is going to get defended. And now looking at the ulti management, it's actually favorable for Thailand. They're in good defensive situation. There is, of course, the Graviton surge from Jam Lee there. Got himself set up. 12-1, is that correct? He's got to be doing. I mean, is he sitting back and not doing anything? Because the rest of the team are getting minced.
He has been sitting back. Opito, I guess. He actually has the most. He's tied with most eliminations with Zalfix, by the way. Turrets, right? If you tag someone with a turret, you're going to get credited with the elimination there. So it's very important to set up a good turret infrastructure. But off that topic, I guess, Opito has been keeping himself safe. Those Deadeyes are very hard to shut down on this map on the first point here. But China now have a few key ultimates coming into this fight. They're going to have the Primal Rage, they're going to have the Graviton Surge, Sound Barrier's there, and so is that Nano Boost. Now, it's likely Naiba will wait for YJP to be ready, and then the fight's going to start.
Yeah, there's the correct start, 4-3, but that's going to be a froze. Jam Lee not even able to do anything on the attack there, and that's just going to cut it dead in its tracks. Lincoln gets himself one, but that is it. The rest of his team have fallen, and China struggle once again. Just 2 minutes remaining here, and look at the ulti stack for Thailand. They are in a very comfortable position right now and don't seem to be wavering on defense. They were unlucky, if anything, to lose out on point A. It looks like they're going to be holding point B here.
It's just so surreal to see Lincoln on Genji and Punga and Lucio as well. Unfortunately, the problem is it's not working out for China right now. So, you know, to achieve this state of, you know, DPS lineup, they've had to move a few roles around. Naiba has himself that Nano Boost ready. It might be he throws on the YJP and lets him go, get a bit of damage, then ult.
Yeah, he's got the ulti ready in just a second. There's the sound barrier going down, but Meng Mao's been picked off before it begins. YJP gets himself one, but the rest of his team are falling. Lincoln's gone down, Pangay's gone down, YJP gets picked off, and that was a lot of ulti management used there by China, and they've not got a great deal for it. They got themselves, what, the first marker on the board, but that will be it. Is it enough? 1 minute to go. They're going to get one, maybe two attacks at best to go for the point.
I think the Roadhog here is super interesting actually there as well for Mickey. I mean, he can be picking people out of China's lineup and taking them down here, but no Zarya. I'm not sure about that one. I guess not really a tracer either way, but it is obviously with Mickey and Opito, you do have this one-hit kill potential, right? You can burst people down and put China at a man disadvantage very quickly. But that requires things working the way they should and execution being on point. Oh, hello.
NZNR throwing out the Blizzard very early on and catching up perfectly there. Zhamli and Meng Mao absolutely frozen in time, but Po2 picks himself up 2 easy kills. Now 40 seconds remaining. That attack has stopped dead. China are going to back away. It is going to give them enough time there, but the Blizzard, that was all they used there, just a simple Blizzard, and Thailand is still sitting pretty.
And Obito now sitting on about 51% accuracy on that McCree, which is pretty damn good. That's what you're looking for at the very least here, and he's really putting damage down. That Blizzard just wrecked China. The fact that Obito just walks up and lazily flicks his Peacemaker and gets 2 kills, the pressure's on for this last push.
Well, that hook's so close there. Mickey got the whole hog ready. It's going to have to be the Dragon Blade, I feel, for Ana Boost here. That's what they're going to be looking towards. There's going to be the whole hog thrown in. That's going to be Meng Mao just bounced on the wall. Primal Rage is going to keep him alive. There's the Dragon Blade coming off. Lincoln trying to do what he can, but he's not really picking a great deal up from it. He gets nano boosted off and then walled off, trying to delay him as much as he can. The overtime's ticking. Nobody's on the point. Just about getting in there. YJP comes in the last second. The hook flings out, doesn't manage to catch him. NZNR manages to take down one, and they're going to push on Meng Mao, the last man standing. He's going to get dropped, and it looks like Thailand will hold on in overtime. And China, all they will get is the first point.
Oh, this is excellent. This is a big development here as well. We've never seen these two teams, these two regions play against each other. We have so much more information on China, and they're expected to be so strong here. But Thailand, we talked about their unorthodox tactics in the first map and how perhaps they may have contributed to them struggling on King's Row, but here they really shone. Obito, incredible play up on that McCree. You know, IDVQD talked about it in his interview as well, talking about how positioning is so important for McCree. You don't have a self-heal, you don't have invulnerability frames. If you can't be babysat, you need to look after yourself. And it's a jungle out there. It's hard to do with McCree, but he did a great job there. Even knowing as well, that lazy flick of the Mei ult just being thrown upwards there as well from NZNR. You saw him jump down, throw the Blizzard, and then Obito's like, well, I guess this is 2 free kills for me. And that was with 40 seconds to go. China just getting picked apart, losing people that they sort of need to put this combo Venn diagram of massacre together. They never had those elements remaining in that last minute.
And the defensive side, looking through the stats, you can see why Mei got a 16-2 there, 16 eliminations, 2 deaths. NZNR, his walls were very good, I felt, managing to catch and split the team very well. And Thailand were very quick to react to it as well. So obviously, it's all well and good you splitting the team, but if nobody reacts and pounces on those single targets, then it's no good for you. Let's see what they're going to bring to the table this time around. China's defense going to be fairly standard. No doubt about that one. This one's a pretty in the meta, I think it's safe to say. Thailand, are they going to bring anything different to the table? Obviously, we saw the Widowmaker. That really didn't work. I think that's what really cost China a lot of time. YJP, it took them, what, 3 minutes before they adjusted away from that Widowmaker? You've got to be quicker on the reactions.
I have to agree with that one as well. And I think YJP might just serve his team better just playing the Zarya now. You're right, China's team's very meta, is what we say, where the Mei and Reaper are generally considered to be the most robust combination of DPS, and I use that term lightly when you look at Mei, I guess, are your heroes in the game right now. Thailand, going to try and work around it with a bit of a variation. It's going to be Obito and Genji. That means if there's a wall that comes up, he can get around. He can also get back to his team. You saw him just go up to there to the top right. He'll try and get into the back lines and cause some damage with the shurikens before going in with the Dragon Blade. Yeah,
you can see he's just working down the Reinhardt, distracting as much as he can. He actually might be able to deal with Lincoln. Lincoln's getting caught out here. The Mei comes in. That's a little bit too deep by Oppo2 there. Does manage to go around the side, but they are starting to be chaotic because they're starting to push it around. The biotic grenade goes down. Doesn't really manage to catch anyone out. Still, no one go down, but look at the hit points across the top. Everybody is low right now. It could go either way, but it's YJP that picks himself up a double along with Mickey. The Zarya's coming into action. Jamli finally manages to swing in point, but it's a fight on the point.
And Jamli going very low there as well, almost gets bursted down, is forced to back away from that fight here, and now he needs to come back in. He does have himself the Blizzard. That in itself should be enough here to allow China to win out the fight on its own, if it's even needed, but it's not, because YJP with his 3rd or 4th kill for the fight. Sometimes, I know you don't want to focus down Zarya because she has shields and that, but if you let Zarya run rampant too long, she'll build up a lot of energy, and that particle cannon is going to be really leaving a mark.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing, the both of them getting the double kills in there, but that was chaotic, and now the problem is it can take a while to come back from the point. There's going to be the Blizzard going down. It catches them out. Thailand's going to start picking up some kills here, but Pengay manages to get himself one. YJP sacrifices another, and that's going to be a cleanup finally for China. They get themselves a little breath of fresh air. Chaotic action at its best, I think, is safe to say there, because that was a splintered attack. I think they were trying to bank on the fact that China maybe not all back from the respawn.
I also like Jamli responding. He saw the Blizzard come out from NZNR. He's like, okay, if Thailand win this fight or they kill a couple of us, they're going to advance. So Jamli sets the Blizzard just in front of Thailand's Blizzard. So, hey, even if you manage to, you know, win a fight or get a couple of kills from our frozen players, you're not going to be allowed to go any further. You will not pass.
Will not pass. Meng Mao certainly will. He goes in. gets himself the full Death Blossom off, gets himself a double kill in there. Apotu, though, on the Genji, gets himself a quick triple, and this is disastrous for China. Suddenly they lose everything. Everybody double stacked in there. I think it was a double Graviton Surge on top of each other. Tell like YJP still got his in there. It was Thailand that pulled it out, and they are going to capture out this first point.
Yeah, Opito now as well is clean-up crew. That's pretty much what's needed now. It's a desperation Graviton Surge. Yeah. No one's going to be caught in that one. It's just not going to happen. YJP might switch here. I kind of would like him not to switch, if I'm honest, and stay with Azaya. Right, so in that event, perhaps you want to hold the Graviton Surge just in case Thailand try and backcap you. And by that I mean really push very China should say really if they want to push aggressively towards the next point. But no, it's not going to be the case.
Mickey, the only one that didn't make it. Typical. The camera goes on, it's the only man that doesn't make it, but it is going to be trying to fast cap. They're going to try and get around the side there, but Kurlos got picked off right at the start. They've got a sound barrier in there, but without Kurlos, it's going to be a little hard. No biotic grenades to keep them topped off, and you can see China, they're back in position. Apotu, it's a bit of a 12-for-1 trade so far. Making out very low. Jamli gets in there. There's the Blizzard. Is it going to be enough? Apotu gets himself a double NCR now, gets himself the shot in the back, and they should be able to cap out the point. They get themselves one. Lincoln's still in there along with Nai. Nai, you mentioned, trying to keep them away, but he's been pushed off the point. They get themselves the first marker. Can they get more?
Well, we'll have to see. Opito off towards the side. He doesn't have the Dragon Blade. It was already used, but Thailand have managed to make so much progress on this point now. 3 players that are trying to force to bleed in and go 1-for-1. Opito in a great position to backstab damage, but the rest of his team seems to be absent. Now he jumps through, dashes through, no reset, but there's Mickey and Zalfix now. It's going to be the Lucio and Zaya getting kills, and this might be ugly for China. Graviton comes out here. China are going to be stuck together. Another sound barrier for Zalfix. Second time in this fight he's had that one available. China can't even get to the point, and there's another Blizzard for NZNR.
And it looks like they're going to get it. There's just one little bit left. They just need to clear them off. It's going to be Mengmao that gets in there. Jamli comes out. There's a counter Blizzard from China. Is that going to be enough? The spawns come out. They force them off the point. And just with a fraction to go, it looks like Thailand might well have just been cleared off the point. Jamli in there. But Apotu comes around. Gets himself a Dragon Blade. Gets himself the second. Can he clear the whole team off? China are in trouble. They have to get somebody on the point right now. You've got the one in the corner frozen up. The second he clears off, is he going to be taken down?
Yes,
just
eventually.
About.
Well, he's going to have to back away, but that's the problem now. Thailand need to be careful because China have actually had a lot of time. They got a lot of time bought for them right in that fight. Graviton Surge comes out into the back though, and NZNR though doing work, gets himself 2 kills. Guess what? His next Blizzard might not be that far away if he keeps hitting so hard. Opito, this whole fight hasn't been touched. He's been alive as soon as Thailand started. That's going to be it though. Thailand finally take it away. They give us a very exciting conclusion to that game. There are a lot of reasons why that got to where it was, but YJP maybe could have held that Graviton Surge till later on. Not the main issue though. Blizzard is pretty strongly, and it's pretty easy to have a lot of. Very chaotic fight, but that Earth Shadow right towards the end there, that was from KOKFC. We just saw Opito getting kills with the Dragon Blade, but KOKFC were the ones that knocked them down and made them vulnerable. That was very impressive.
There's a couple of ironic moments also leading into the B cap. Firstly, Kurlos got taken down right at the beginning of that fight, so they didn't have Anna to begin with. But Mickey, he missed that wall, but actually worked in his favor. Obviously, all 6 members were meant to come from that left-hand side, so he ended up going through the front door. Completely, everybody swung their attention. Oh, they're all coming from the left-hand side. And he comes in the back, gets himself the free damage down, right-clicking away with Azaya as he can, putting the free shields down. And before they even noticed it, he'd got a Graviton Surge off.
The problem, well, I mean, the tricky part when you're in China's position, right? You've been shifted off the point. Now you're spawning in 1 by 1 at different times, and you need to stall or try and push Thailand off the point. You don't have the leisure of grouping up, firstly. You also don't have the leisure of sort of picking your target. You can't go, okay, I'm going to come back to this point, and then I'm going to go straight for the Genji. It's not really an option, because what you need to do first is try and stay alive, stall the game out a little bit longer, try and buy some time, which Jamli did. You saw him up in the corner. May can sort of use the ice block and put an ice wall up in front, tuck yourself in a corner and stall the point out there. But Zalfix had 2 sound barriers in that fight. That's and that's the thing. You need to do a lot of damage to get those sound barriers, right? Healing is great, but if you're just healing, even if people are taking damage, it still takes a fair while to get that. So credit to him. We've seen a lot more of his Symmetra so far, but his Lucio play was very, very good on that last point. And it's what enabled Thailand to weather the storm, as China were literally throwing themselves at them, trying to get them off that point.
Yeah, there's a couple of things you can look at the stats, obviously, throughout these guys. Apotu, obviously, on the Genji on the Dragon Blade, pretty much because because he was on Dragon Blade
Basically.
constantly throughout that. Involved in 39 eliminations, only had 6 deaths, 16,000 damage, way ahead of anyone else. Certainly doing great. Obviously, you got Zalfix alongside him as well, throwing out the shields. You'd expect a Zaya to stay alive for a long time. You highlighted him, obviously 31 eliminations and just the 4 deaths throughout. So fantastic play.